The term neurodivergent alludes to the idea that mental differences may be common and expected. Generally speaking, this may result in significant and advantageous experiences and capacities.
Individuals are portrayed as neurodiverse when their thinking examples, ways of behaving, or learning styles fall beyond what is thought of typical or neurotypical.
The idea of neurodiversity is getting momentum as both neurodiverse and neurotypical individuals are observing that distinctions are not really inabilities. In 1997, autistic sociologist Judy Singer coined the term neurodiversity. The phrase was meant to evoke thoughts of biodiversity, implying that variations in neurological functioning can be assets rather than liabilities. Who is neurodiverse? People with specific diagnoses that are regarded as developmental disorders make up the neurodiverse population, as opposed to intellectual disabilities or mental illnesses. They consist of, but are not restricted to: 1. Autism. Autism is the developmental disorder that affects speech, fine and gross motor skills, social communication, and other areas. 2. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, ADHD. Inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity are all characteristics of the neurodevelopmental disorder, ADHD. 3. Tourette's syndrome. Tourette's syndrome is a tic disorder characterized by uncontrollable, repetitive movements and vocalizations that first appear in childhood. There are several learning disabilities, including dyslexia, difficulty with language skills, especially reading, and dyscalculia, difficulty with doing basic arithmetic. People who identify as neurodiverse can also exhibit similar symptoms without having a diagnosis. Rarely are mental health issues like schizophrenia, depression, or bipolar disorder mentioned when talking about neurodiversity. Whether or not neurodiversity is a suitable term for mental illnesses that can be treated is up for debate. Mental illness is sometimes described using the distinct and related phrase, mad pride. Why neurodiversity is important? People who identify as neurodivergent and those who speak about neurodivergent people on a daily basis are becoming more and more drawn to the idea of neurodiversity. This is due to a number of factors including: 1. Neurodivergent self-advocates are battling to instill a sense of pride in neurodiverse ways of thinking and acting. They have grown to be ardent supporters of the idea of neurodiversity. 2. Teachers are now aware that a significant portion of their students exhibits neurodiversity. They are required by the law to make necessary accommodations for their needs rather than those of the group as a whole. The term neurodiversity refers to a broad category of students. 3. Many employers and members of the general public view neurodiversity as having real adaptive benefits. Indeed, the Harvard Business Review promotes neurodiversity as a competitive advantage because it frequently bestows a variety of strengths and positive traits.